for being here tonight. Look, the issue I want to step through has got 3 steps to it. I'd like to take one step at a time and deal with the conclusion at each step. So you may not have said this, but many people have been parading your decision against Rowan Dean as proof that he was peddling lies. It's important to be clear about what you actually found. So let's step through. I'm going to quote a particular part from the decision of what ACMA concluded about the facts. The facts. Everyone likes to throw around words like misinformation, but let's deal with some facts. The report said about one of the complaints, this is a long excerpt, so I'd ask you to bear with me, and I quote, this is coming from ACMA. The segment presented information about how ice cores can be used to analyse air trapped at the time the ice formed, up to 400,000 years ago in this case. It then relayed what such analysis had found with respect to global air temperatures and carbon dioxide concentrations over that period and their relationship to each other. And Foxtel responded with, the analysis does show a connection between the global temperatures and carbon dioxide levels, but the striking feature is that a change occurs in the temperature before the carbon dioxide level changes. ACMA then said, quote, this statement about what the analysis showed was factual in character, as it simply plotted the changes in carbon dioxide and temperature as derived from the ice cores over time. The statement about the changes was specific, unequivocal and capable of independent verification. That's the end of the quote from ACMA. So you actually concluded that the material Rowan Dean presented was factual, that the analysis of the ice core showed a connection and changes in temperature occurring before changes in carbon dioxide in the past, correct?
Senator, I don't have the investigation report in front of me.
I think... Rochelle Zen, I'm Executive Manager, Content Safeguards Branch. Senator, I think you're referring to a finding in relation to the ice cores?
Yeah, Rowan Dean, yes.
Yes. So in relation to that, I think what you're quoting from the report might be our assessment of whether there was factual material.
Correct.
Rather than whether that material was necessarily accurate. But my understanding on that finding is that the finding we made a breach on there was whether there was an adequate distinction between factual material and commentary, which is a requirement under the ASTRA Code.
So I'd like to go to the next step. The first thing is it's factual and you confirm that it is factual. The second...
I think, Senator, if I hear Mr Nama correctly, we said that it was factual information.
Yes. Okay. Yes, okay, that's an important distinction. So let's get to the next step then. And to confirm, did you conclude that the segment had presented that factual material accurately?
Senator, I am just checking my notes. We did not find a breach on accuracy on that issue.
But we found a breach.
On the distinction between...
We did not find a breach on accuracy, but we found a breach on distinguishing between accuracy and opinion, commentary.
So he had factual material and it was accurate and presented in a factual way that's accurate. So you've concluded that the analysis was factual, you've concluded that factual material was presented accurately. Can you explain what exactly was wrong with that segment to say Foxtel had breached the code on that complaint? I understand you have three steps in this. Is it factual? Yes. Is it accurately presented? Yes. Is it opinion or commentary or news?
Senator, as I said before, our finding was that there was a mixture of commentary and factual material in the statement.
And in his segment?
In the discussion about the Vostok ice cores, yes. And so we noted that the statement by the host featured both factual assertion and commentary. And we were of the view that it would not have been sufficiently clear to the audience whether the statement was an argument derived from the analysis or a separate factual assertion.
Okay. So the third step, you pinged him on that. So there's been media reporting to state that these complaints came from former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd. Can you confirm that?
It came from, yes, Senator,
Yes,
it came from the
yes.
office of Senator.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate your openness. Thank you. So I think that you're being incredibly hypocritical to allow political activists to harass anyone on Sky News over material that you have literally concluded is factual, yet you haven't investigated one media company or journalist for peddling blatantly false claims about COVID-19 injections. Why?
Senator, the co-regulatory framework in which content is investigated is reliant on, in the most, complaints that come to the ACMA. So we investigate complaints that come to us against the co-regulatory codes that are in place for commercial broadcasters or subscription broadcasters, television or radio. So where we are not, in most cases, it is not our role to go out and identify content for investigation. It is our role to investigate complaints that come to us that might enliven our responsibility to look at whether or not there's been a breach of the code.
Thank you. That was clearly put. So you can't act or you don't act unless there is a complaint.
In most cases, we don't act unless there's a complaint, unless we have a way of doing what we call own motion investigations.
What's
where
it called?
We can prompt an investigation ourselves in certain circumstances. That is normally when, for example, there's widespread public commentary or something comes to us where we think there's considerable harm, but in most cases we rely on complaints.
So you can,